Your faults as a son are my failure as a father. Now, Marcus Aurelius didn't actually say this, but it's in the movies Gladiators. In fact, this whole video is inspired by the movie Gladiator. So if you haven't watched that movie yet, you should better check them out because it's such a badass movie. But anyways, there will be spoilers in this video about the movie Gladiators. So if you plan to watch it now and then come back to this video. Alright, the thing about this video is Marcus Aurelius is a failed father. Well, before we go on, let's see first what is the differences and the background of Marcus Aurelius and Commodus. Well, unless you have been living under a rock, Marcus Aurelius is the father of Commodus, and Commodus is the son of Marcus Aurelius. You see? So Marcus, he was one of the most successful Roman emperors, right? He made Rome flourish. He is the father of Stoicism. Everyone respects Marcus Aurelius. Let's think about the YouTube videos about Marcus Aurelius and the Stoicism videos that has the thumbnail of Marcus Aurelius. People respect Marcus Aurelius so much. But what happened to Commodus? Commodus is like the total opposite of it, right? He likes to drink. He's drinking like this Harvey guy, and then he doesn't really care about the administration of the kingdom, and then he likes to go on gladiator fights wearing like Hercules. And here's the spoiler actually where Commodus died to the gladiator. But Commodus didn't actually die like this, right? He died getting strangled by a wrestler. And the funny thing is that Commodus, he only fight the one who is weak and injured. And it's just like in this movie where the gladiator got weak and is already injured, and Commodus tried to fight with him. But in the end, what happened is he still lost to an injured and weak guy. But of course, this is just a movie. Who the fuck believes it? So the point of this video is, how can the father of Stoicism be so successful in the matters of his empire but then fail to bring up a son, his only son? Well, that's what we will be discovering in this video. So let's look at it. What causes Commodus to turn out shitty, right? There are several factors, but I have named 3 main factors. Alright, I'm not going to name like 10, 20, 50 factors, but these 3 main factors. So it's said that Marcus wasn't always there for his son. That hence the absence of a strong father figure. And we all know that being an emperor in Rome is such a busy task. It holds a lot of responsibility, duties, and sacrifices that sometimes you cannot be with your child. But Marcus Aurelius maybe didn't see the importance of being with his son during that time. Of course, we also have reports that Marcus Aurelius bring Commodus to wars to make him see and learn from the wars that his father went through. But unfortunately, his father wasn't there for other occasions. How much he wasn't there for his son? Well, that's a question for the future. But if we look at Philip II, right? In my previous video, Philip II is the king of Macedon right before Alexander the Great. Why? Because he is the father of Alexander the Great. And how can Philip II raise such an important and great person like Alexander while Marcus Aurelius didn't produce a great emperor? So it turns out that Philip II was more deeply involved with Alexander. He is involved with his education, military training, and political grooming. He personally demonstrated the skills of leadership, statecraft, and warfare, and ensured that Alexander was exposed to critical situations from a young age. But for Commodus, that's a pretty much different thing, right? Which will be coming on the second point here, which is an easy snowflake life. For Commodus, unfortunately and fortunately, he has a super easy life, right? He was born as an aristocrat, and he felt that entitlement of a son of an emperor. So imagine like you grow up in a city and you are the son of the king or someone's very, very powerful. Of course, people will respect you and you feel that entitlement. Unfortunately, this is what I think that Marcus Aurelius didn't really teach him is about respect, right? Because he has ego with his teachers, with the people who taught him, right? Because if you think about it, even right now in this generation, that a life that is too easy will make you feel entitled. I'll repeat that. A life that is too easy will make you feel entitled. When I say snowflake, yes, it is an inside joke about the generation Z. I mean, the generation of people we have today, which get offended about so many things so easily. Why? Because we feel that entitlement, life gets too easy. We are in a middle, we are the middle child of history. We take things for granted, right? Of the easiness of life that people before us come and fought for us, right? That's why we become snowflakes. We think that life is too easy. And what does that life too easy means? It means entitlement. Now I hope you can see the relation between an easy life with entitlement. And of course, if Commodus would have grown up in a different way, in a way that he doesn't feel that it's too easy to live, maybe he would appreciate life more. Maybe he wouldn't be so cruel. Oh yeah, I forget to mention one thing, that this Commodus guy is very impulsive, right? He likes to kill people for just being suspicious, right? There are a lot of people he killed just because he is suspicious that he is a traitor, right? So for his guards, he killed some of his guards, some authorities, some people right next to him, and he's very impulsive about that because he doesn't take life as something that he should appreciate. And that's unfortunate for someone who has life too easy. Entitlement. But if we look back at Alexander, right, this guy is also the son of Philip II, which is the king at that time, right? But why didn't Alexander turn out to be like Commodus? Why he wasn't cruel? He wasn't a bad person. He wasn't a person who only think of himself, a narcissist who goes out drinking all day and didn't care about his empire. Well, a major difference is that Alexander didn't turn out to grow up very easily, right? He has somehow a strict upbringing, that when he went to Macedonian aristocrat school, alright, so this is not a normal school, alright, it's an aristocrat school, which means rich people's school. But they are taught to be respectful and taught to be humble, so they are wearing simple tunics. While Commodus, on the other hand, is wearing all those luxurious things and getting the latest versions of pen and notebook. Well, during those times there were no phones, right? So maybe a good example is pen and notebooks or something like that. So due to this humbleness that Alexander has with his life, maybe this actually turns him to be a good person. Have respect for elders, and he is humble and he appreciates his people. So Commodus had an easy life, Alexander not so easy life. I doubt that he had a hard life, but he definitely doesn't have a too easy life like Commodus had. So he is this Commodus is driven by ego, while Alexander is driven by not ego. Right, I got to wipe all of this shit first before I continue. Right, so the next point is that he is too young. He is 18 when he became the emperor. Imagine being a king at the age of 18, which makes you impulsive, makes you dumb and stupid, and you don't really know what's going on with the real life. You're just growing up, and you are already the emperor. While some people might say that, oh, age doesn't really matter, of course it matters, right? Age is a big factor. If you don't believe me, let's go to the next slide, right? Let's see here why young emperors are full of shit. And you can see from here that on the left side we have the good Roman emperors, the Roman emperors that we consider as good people who has done a lot of sacrifices and duties to the Roman emperor. And on the right we have the bad Roman emperors, the Roman emperors that we think as being useless, cruel, and stupid and dumb, all like that. And you can see the age gap between these two people, right? See, I hope you're seeing this right now, because we can see that the average age for the people who are bad Roman emperors is around their 20s, and the average of the good Roman emperors are around their 40s. Of course, this is much too simplistic, and there are much more Roman emperors than all these 10, but this is just some idea to see. This is just some idea for you to see that there is some correlation between being young and being a terrible ruler. And as you can see, Commodus was an 18-year-old, Nero 16-year-old, Caligula 24-year-old, and we have Marcus Aurelius being 40 when he became an emperor, and so all the other great emperors here. But of course there are exceptions. There's actually one emperor who is very old. Was like 60, but that's an exception, and I don't remember his name. Boom. All right, so the conclusion. What is the conclusion? So first thing, of course, all right, before that, look at this cool fighting, the last scene from the movies of Gladiator. Yeah, Commodus was fighting with the gladiator. His cool shit, he was injured, but Commodus still couldn't kill him, and this gladiator guy actually killed him. So this movie is kind of the same, like based on a true story, but it's more like inspired by a true story, and they changed some little things about the story. Like he was supposed to be killed by a wrestler, not a gladiator, but that doesn't really matter because the movie is still fun. So the conclusion is, first of all, you have to be what's this? All right, first of all, right. And obviously, you have to be there for your child, right? If your soon-to-be father or your future father, I hope you have the dreams and aspirations to be there for your child, for his education. Take things seriously for your child, all right? Because it's very important and evident that fathers are important for your child development, not just daughters, not just your sons, but every gender, right? Of course, there are just two genders, but you get what I'm saying, right? Some people think that father is much more important for the daughter, but no, it's actually 3 times more important for the son. And we can see the bad effects of a daughter raising without a good father, without a strong father. Terrible. But now imagine a son without a good father, right? We don't really see this in society, but there are psychological benefits that people are not really talking about, right? So guys, be there for your child, and I believe this is what also Philip II practices. He bring his Alexander to certain things, education and the statecraft of the government, how he ruled the kingdom and the empire. The next thing is teach your kids respect. As we all know, Commodus wasn't really respectful, and he felt that entitlement as a son of emperor. So teach your kids respect, right? Don't give them a life that's too easy. Give your kids somehow a challenge in life, that they will appreciate the hard work of other people. They will see and acknowledge other people as somehow another human, instead of I'm better than you, so you better respect me because I'm better. So teach your kids respect and make them be humble. Especially during these days, most people are so snowflake and they are getting offended about every single thing in life. Right. Next thing is stop electing young leaders. Now, this could come in as controversial, but I don't care, right? Because young leaders are nowhere as competent to older leaders, right? Of course, there are exceptions to this, but I'm not talking about exceptions. I don't care about your uncle who gets who gets the title of a president at the age of 20. Like, no one cares about that, all right? We are talking about average. The majority of people are going to be better leaders when they age and that young leaders need to learn more. They need to experience more, especially experience more, not just learn theoretically, but experiencing is so important. There's difference, right, between just learning and experiencing things. So experiencing things takes so much more time, and that's why some people say life begins at 40. And I think 40 is like the best time, the start of a time where you can elect leaders. I mean, not just leaders in the group, but leaders I'm talking about is at the national level of leaders. Right, so what do you think of this video? Do you think Marcus Aurelius is a failed father, or do you think Commodus is just full of shit that he should be like his father? So what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comment section below, and take care and be a fucking rock.